Good evening. It is Monday, January 4th, 2021. It is 6:30 p.m. The Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. Call the meeting to order. I think Alderman Holt's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible.
Oh boy, that's
Shirley, have you had a chance to take roll?
I have taken roll. Everybody's present, and you have a quorum.
Thank you. Board, you'll see in front of you the consent agenda this evening. Are there any questions or discussions on the consent agenda? If there are no questions or discussions, can we entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented this evening?
I make second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
This means they don't get the gator then.
Well, I think they're working on a solution for that.
Okay.
Consent agenda passes. Thank you. Under Mayor's remarks, I do believe everybody, you should have in front of you the Kearney Enrichment Council's annual report. A really, really nice detailed report. I would encourage the board to read through it. I appreciate the executive director Hamilton and their board putting together this fine document, and it just shows our monetary and other support of this organization continues to be put to good use. And so if you had not already received that document, like I said, we just wanted to make sure that you did get a copy of it. And thanks again to Kurt and his board for being good stewards of our support, and enjoy the report. I will point out here on the front page this nice photo from their summer camp. This all of the kids are very handsome, and but I want to point out this guy right there. So that's Carter. So Carter attended their summer camp and had a blast. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there too. That's all I have this evening under Mayor's remarks. I guess I will mention that, obviously the city operates on a different fiscal year than calendar year, but we are obviously into 2021 now, and to where I did send out a message to all of staff before the year end. I do just want to publicly share that same appreciation to all of our staff here at the city of Kearney. We wouldn't be successful without our staff. So thank you again to staff, and thank you to our public works department. I put a message on my mayor page, working 30 hours this weekend, almost around the clock working on our streets. So their hard work and dedication is noticed and appreciated as well. We'll move on to administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The water department has endured a series of water line breaks on 9th Street, and we have secured a price from Decker Construction to replace the water main between Prospect and Marguerite Street at an estimated cost of $73,000. We're seeking emergency approval for that. We have also recognized the same issues on 8th Street, and we went ahead and asked him for pricing on 8th Street, thinking that if he got mobilized, he could save us a little money while doing that. And that is also priced at $69,796. These are emergency replacements. They're not engineered designed. We wouldn't be going through DNR to secure permitting. So if we went through the bid process, it would take us 6 to 9 months to get to a point where we could do this work. So we have confidence in Decker, and I'll get Donnie to explain why we would recommend this rather than going through a design build process.
Yeah, we've had 7 to 8 breaks on this line, and 4 to 6 on the one on 8th Street in the last number of years. It's old sand cast material that was put in the mid-60s, late 60s. And Decker's got us a real good price here. He he might be able to work with us a little, he says, but he's kind of right in there to where he can still do it and replace it as well, bring it up to date. We'll get rid of some of the lead connections that are a problem where we have lead taps, and that's coming down the pipe to get it fixed. And this is an area that we've had numerous leaks on, and it's cost us quite a bit of money on emergency repairs on weekends, nights, and so on. Any other questions?
Mr. Donnie, I would just like to add that next time any of the board members would see any of the residents on 8th or 9th Street, specifically Mr. and Mrs. Daryl Rennie, please pass along our sincere appreciation for their patience, because the last couple of breaks has been right there in the Rennie's front yard, and the yard has been a mess, and they've been very gracious and understanding. So I appreciate the report, Donnie, and any questions from the board? I do think that this is a good solution and much needed in this area.
Is it normal PVC? Is that what they're putting it back with?
We're putting back 8-inch C900 to bring it up to our ordinances to where we replace the line with 8-inch, and C900 is the best available pipe right now. That's from me and Tom Decker's recommendation.
So does that mean we're also replacing fire hydrants?
Yes.
Good.
I think it's wonderful that we're being proactive and maybe put a stop to all of these evening and weekend.
Yeah, we've got a long road to go, but
Yeah.
This is a place to start.
Yeah.
If there are no other questions from the board, could you read?
Mr. Mayor, I'm simply looking for a motion authorizing us to proceed based on the pricing proposals that Tom Decker has submitted. So I'm looking for a motion from the board.
I'll make a motion to proceed based on the recommendation and pricing from Decker Construction to do emergency water line replacement.
I'll second that recommendation.
We have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I did get a phone call from John Garvey of Kissick Construction, and I wanted to, and I've put this out in front of the board, and I've given you a copy as well. I think I can share breakdown of last year. We bid the North Grove water line in February, and the low bid was Kissick Construction. We went through the design process and secured a DNR permit for this work. We had an alternate bid for the Lawrence Street and the Major Street projects as well, and we have built up our fund balance in our water and sewer revenue by about $700,000, and that's because we postponed budgeted work during the COVID thing, and we are in a financial position to be able to afford doing all three projects. I was going to try to share back with the screen. I haven't figured out how.
Jim, this was previously a budgeted item. I do think, November month end, we had roughly $1.7 million in the water sewer account that we would pay to put this on. I know it appears that you're not looking for approval tonight, but I would ask that, with the consensus of the board this evening, maybe you work on getting some contracts and resolutions in place for us to consider at our next board meeting. This is a problem we've got to address with the new senior complex going in. Our fire marshal has deemed that there's not adequate water supply in that area. we've not made these sort of improvements in our city in a couple years, and improvements to this infrastructure like this, was a promise of mine when I campaigned and for the mayor position when I ran for this office. I feel the need is justified. We have more than adequate funds in our reserve account. So it's my thoughts that the board would agree and consider the bid with both alternates, with the Lawrence Street, Major, and Grove. And we'll hopefully consider that unanimously at the next meeting. Are there any questions from the board regarding this work?
I might explain a couple of things, Mayor. I had approached John Garvey about this. He said material prices were up about $5,000 over last year, but he has proposed several different cost savings devices of switching from flowable fill to AB3 for backfill, which is gravel, and also letting them use our lagoon site for wasting our spoil. And we've got to do some work up there at the lagoon anyway, because we wasted a bunch of cut and patch material, and we've got to get up there and spread that out anyway. So the spoil will be excess dirt and things like that, and we can use the excess dirt up there at that site. So with those savings, the price was $564, and with the cost increase, he comes down to $547,000. And I sent this on to Greg Kendall, our engineer, and asking him if he thought that was okay, and he says, I think that can work if Kissick properly compacts the backfill. Most of the line is going to be right in the edge of the asphalt, and that's why they had gone to flowable fill. But we're used to doing this, and I can have Downey speak to that. He says the backfill compaction is going to be very important, and it will be. You might mention that.
Yeah, it's normal practice to take AB3 and compact it along the road edge. It's even better than we do with emergency patchwork. I mean, we dump gravel in there and let it settle out, because you can't compact it when it's basically a pond. And again, this is another area where it was put in the early 60s, sand cast pipe. We have numerous breaks here, so we definitely will save a lot of repair work, a lot of trouble, a lot of road repair.
And improve flow on the north end of town, where we're now recognizing we need that at the senior center. And I think the mayor can address that too. And
yeah, we have adequate flow just a few blocks away. If you go 4 blocks away, and it drops almost in half. We're at like 1160, 1150 at this hydrant right here at Main, and we're down to like 550 gallons a minute, which is awful.
And we're still spending less than the proposed request here. And like I said, I know we're not. I appreciate you, Jim, bringing up this piece of it too, and we're not officially voting on it. But I think it's important to point out that, this year alone, through our fiscal year, and the year's not over yet, obviously, we put over $700,000 into this reserve account. It's been a great year for the city of Kearney. Part of that is obviously, increased rates in water and sewer. And so, we need to continue to upgrade and address these concerns in our infrastructure. So essentially being able to do the complete project that is justified and needed, and still have a net positive to our reserves, I think is something to be proud of. Jim, and I don't know if it was in a board meeting or maybe a meeting that you and I had individually at one point, but my biggest concern about switching the compact was if it was engineer approved, and obviously it sounds like the engineer would still sign off on the project.
Yes, and what he recommends is that we go ahead and accept the bid as we normally do by a motion, and then we will change order those things. They'll come back as change orders, and so the next meeting, we'd have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute contracts with Kissick, and those change orders will be coming forward either by the next meeting or soon thereafter. So it's essentially picking up work that we wanted to do at the beginning of the fiscal year, and like I say, that I may have to do a budget adjustment, budget amendment, but for the most part, at least the 270 portion is, we kind of contemplated doing that. So,
are there any questions or discussion from the board?
We really want to take off and get this. This is an important project.
Okay, Jim, I would just encourage you to bring to our next board meeting contract and a resolution to, for the board to consider approving. Can you guys hear me?
I believe there's a phone line issue. It looks like he's dialing back in.
Okay.
Mayor, can you hear us now?
Yeah, there we go.
We're having phone problems. It disconnected.
Okay. What I offered is any questions or discussion from the board.
No.
Okay. If there are none, Mr. Administrator, I would just encourage you to bring the contracts and resolutions to consideration at our next meeting. If there's any questions the board may have between now and then, they can get with you or Mr. Donnie.
Is it possible that we go ahead and get a motion to acknowledge the low bid as Kissick Construction, so we can, at least for the record, so that we have something there?
How do you want it stated?
A motion to accept the low bid of Kissick Construction for the North Grove water line replacement project.
So we never did that back this time last year when we got them. We never formally acknowledged that.
I haven't gone clear back to the minutes to look at that. I don't think we did.
Okay.
You guys remember if we came to the board? I don't
remember.
I make a motion to accept the low bid of Kissick Construction for the Grove Street water replacement project.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And a couple of things else is that we're breathing purified air now. We have all new furnaces and air conditioners here, and they all have air scrubbers going, and so we have cleaner air here. We also are in the process of changing phones, and I think because somebody knows about that, and that's why we're having problems. But we do not have the new phone system in place. We are working on that right now. And to remind everyone, because of the Martin Luther King holiday on January the 18th, the next regular meeting falls on Tuesday, January the 19th. And that concludes my report.
Can we also plan ahead for February and the February 15th meeting, which falls on President's Day? Would we move it to Tuesday the 16th?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be the normal process.
Perfect. Just making sure.
Okay, so you can plan your event.
Yes, so I can get it on my
Yes.
All right. Perfect.
We have met on President's Day at times.
We have.
I've probably befuddled your plans, befuddled.
Yes. Sometimes
Sorry
we haven't. Sometimes we haven't.
That is true.
I wanted to check.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my report.
We have no public requests or petitions on the agenda tonight, no public hearings. We have no old business to discuss, but we do have an item, a proposed ordinance under 8A for new business.
Mr. Mayor, Keith and Craig Porter would like to donate right-of-way for the Nation Road roundabout, but had requested some plan modifications that would alleviate the need for drainage easement across their property. Our engineers, Trans Systems, have agreed that their proposal could be accomplished without any additional cost to the project. And a memorandum of understanding has been prepared that gives Keith and Craig, who are mutually partnered as CLMM Land Company, LLC, the assurances that they have requested in order that they might proceed to execute the right-of-way deed, donating their land of approximately 2.66 acres of permanent right-of-way and 1.25 acres of temporary right-of-way. And we certainly appreciate their offer, and we recommend that the board approve the ordinance that would authorize you to sign that memorandum of understanding, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions from the board? See there being no questions, could you read by title only, please?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with CLMM Land Company, LLC, relative to the Nation Road roundabout design and right-of-way donation.
Motion to approve on first reading?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Second reading by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with CLMM Land Company, LLC, relative to the Nation Road roundabout design and right-of-way donation.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Take roll.
Alderman Spencer?
Aye.
Alderman Holt?
Aye.
Alderman Lehman? Aye. Alderman Barger?
Aye.
The vote is unanimous, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I would like to offer my appreciation to Mr. Goss and Mr. Porter for this donation, along with Mona Snyder, Tim Harris, Bill Wilkerson, and Jim. Is there anybody else I'm missing off that's previously?
There is, but I can't recall their name.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Everybody that has
the agenda packet for the next time.
Yeah, thank you, and sorry to spring that on you, but just know that everybody that has donated right away, allowing us to continue to move on this project that's been a little slow. These donations definitely make it get on track and help us get this thing done under our proposed budget. So big or small, we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll move on to Alderman discussion. Alderman Spencer.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Alderman Holt.
I'm good. Had a great weekend. I thought our road crews did a pretty good job. I didn't get a single complaint issued to me, but there's different people all over town. But I thought it went really well, and I thought our streets did. I was out driving on it after it quit snowing and got around just fine.
Great.
Job done.
Alderman Lehman.
I'm good.
All right. And Alderman Barger.
I have nothing this evening.
All right. Well, that concludes our meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting this evening?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Everybody have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.